Hello, my name is Gina Dillard and I am one of your Ethicon sales representatives. I first want to say thank you so much for everything that you healthcare workers are doing for us. We really do appreciate everything that you're doing. I know you don't have the luxury of staying at home and social distancing, so we really do appreciate everything that you're doing. Since we have been asked by Johnson & Johnson to follow CDC guidelines and not be present in the OR, especially since we don't want to take up your valuable supplies like masks, we are making videos for a new product. The reason that this new product is being launched right now is because we found out that the 5 milliliter Evicel is going to be on back order. Now the good news is that Celia and Tissue Bank has 2 weeks worth of supply of 5 millimeter Evicel. So we do have time to get this put in place before you run out. This new product is called VistaSeal. Courtney and I have already been speaking to surgeons for the last 3 months about this new product, and all of the coordinators are also already aware, so this will not be a shock to them. VistaSeal is just like Evicel in the fact that it is fibrinogen and thrombin. Now there are different ways to prep it, and there are some different spray patterns that you can do, and so it's actually all an upgrade from Evicel. We really do think the surgeons are going to like it. Dr. Davis has already tried it, and so Kim and Chantel will be good resources for you during this transition. And BBRP staff has already also been in service about this in person. We want you to know that you can reach out to us anytime during this transition, and we can FaceTime you, we can text message you, we can be on the phone with you while you're getting it prepped. Any of that, we are here for you during this transition. Courtney Bryan is going to be making a few videos on product demos and how to prep the product and things to watch out for. We thank you so much for everything that you're doing during this time, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Courtney. I'm your other Ethicon sales rep. I want to go ahead and echo what Gina said and thank you for being there in the front lines for what you do. We really appreciate you guys. Without further ado, I am going to jump into your COVID-19 virtually inspired in-service videos for VistaSeal, i.e. Evicel 2.0. So just brief introduction about VistaSeal. What is it? It is human-derived fibrinogen and thrombin, just like Evicel. We went with a different manufacturer to ensure product supply. The great thing about it is that we came up with a new design. So this design is a click-on and spray design. It's already preloaded syringes, so you don't need to draw up anything. As of so far, nurses are loving it. It's super simple setup. It has a slightly lower viscosity than Evicel, so it eliminates the need for a CO2 pressure regulator, which is awesome. You can spray or drip with it, so it's versatile. And those are the big overviews. 7 to 14 day absorption profile, 2 to 37 degree working temperature. The main things that are going to change with it, I will get into here in a minute. Storage. So a big difference with VistaSeal versus Evicel is the shelf life that it has in the refrigerator. VistaSeal, the new product that you guys are moving to, only lasts in the refrigerator for up to 48 hours. So with that, the tissue bank is going to be storing it in the freezer at all times. It will be transported to you in a box, just like my demonstration unit here, exact same size and dimensions, on dry ice. So you'll be getting it frozen. If you are sure you are going to use, then move into the thawing process, which is a warm water bath for 5 minutes. The reason we say 5 minutes and no longer is because you can actually denature the proteins if you leave it in the bath for too long. So in the case that I was in last week, the bath was at 103 degrees. We left it in for 5 minutes. It thawed beautifully. Technically, you could thaw it on the counter if you would like, but that takes anywhere from 70 to 90 minutes. So the real efficacious way to do it is just to take it right off the dry ice and put it in the water bath, okay? Preparation. As I said in the storage video, you will receive the product in a box looking just like this on dry ice. There are 2 separate components that will come in that box. One is the biologic itself, which already has the syringes drawn up with the fibrinogen and the thrombin, and the other is the open tip applicator. Regardless of if you're doing an open or a laparoscopic case, you do have to connect this applicator, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So best practice, when you get the biologic, go ahead and expel any air that might be in there. It's not the end of the world if you leave it in, but it's also, it could just mess up the spray as the surgeon is going to spray. So you just want to get rid of that air, and you can do that with leaving these caps on. So this is the product that you are going to be thawing in the warm water bath. You can see that there's these perforations in the outside casing here. That's to help it sink in the water bath. The product is still sterile on the inside, so that's a great feature of this design. For the open tip itself, you'll see that you get 3 total spray tips. I am missing one right here. It'll come already screwed on right there. The reason that you get 3 tips is because this product does clot very quickly. So if the surgeon sprays it all in one go, you won't deal with changing tips. But if he or she wants to spray a little, stop, reassess, spray a little, stop, reassess, you will need to know how to change these tips. And the way that you do so is you go ahead and you take off the tip itself. And you can see that this is the dual lumen applicator right there. So that's how you keep the biologics separate. But you will see a little clot that will form right up here. So you want to go ahead and take a wet lap, or Raytech, and just wipe off that clot, and then go ahead and grab one of your other 3 tips and screw that tip on. The original tip that we used combines the 2, so it's totally clotted, so you're going to have to get rid of that one. So does that make sense? If not, call, text me or Gina. We will happily go over this again with you guys. But just you wipe away the clot and you apply a new tip once you're in the surgery, once you're actually spraying. So to set it up itself, you've already gotten rid of the air bubbles. You've put this in a warm water bath for 5 minutes. You had the circulator set that timer. You didn't overcook it. Thank you for not doing that. You pull it out of the water bath, and you want to click this on when the surgeon's ready to go. So leave these 2 independent of one another on the stand until the surgeon is ready to spray, at which time go ahead, take off these guys right here. Make sure that these lure locks right here are tightened down, just because they can loosen during transport. Go ahead and click it on, and you're ready to go. So simple to use. Nurses so far really do dig this product because it's brilliantly easy to use. And that is it. When the surgeon is applicating, she just sprays. I will show you the laparoscopic applicator here in a minute. And we already went over changing tips. Don't be afraid to encourage your surgeon if they're like, oh, this is difficult. You can use 2 hands to spray. Sometimes it takes some force to get that really nice aerosolized effect that you get with, say, the CO2 pressure regulator. So you want to go ahead and just apply as much force as you need to get a great spray. We say anywhere from 2 to 5 centimeters from where you're spraying if, say, it's laparoscopic. Otherwise, you can be a little bit further back during open cases. Laparoscopic application. So this is the part where you get to watch me sweat. I hope that you guys laugh at this. So as I mentioned before, whether you're doing an open or a lap case, you still need to connect the open applicator. And here's why. The part that changes, this still stays the same, as do these, but they loosen off. And I've heard this explained a bunch of different ways. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, counterclockwise twist. But very long story short, as I'm staring at my finger right now, my thumb that's in the front, it's moving from the left to the right. I don't know if that's counterclockwise or clockwise. I just don't know. But as you do it, these start to come off. Can you guys see that? And it kind of cams itself since it's oddly like tightened in on both sides. As you loosen one, you kind of have to go over and loosen the other, then come back to this one and loosen, then go back to the other and loosen. So you'll be able to do all this ahead of time. The only time where you will be sweating also is if you, well, no, you'll never go from open to lap. So hopefully you'll just be able to set this up ahead of time. Going from lap back to open will be an easy transition. I'll show you guys how to do that. But yeah, you can prep this ahead of time. So you go ahead and you screw this little adapter right here for the open off, and this is the part where you'll go ahead and need to bill the patient for the laparoscopic adapter. So the laparoscopic adapter is product code VSTL35. Oops, comes in a package like this. You go ahead and you open it up, and there will be the laparoscopic applicator itself, as well as 2 additional tips here. So a total of 3 additional tips in addition to the 3 that you already had. So 6 total tips, which is great. So you have a lot of wiggle room for changing out tips if you get clots during lap cases. So you take your product again, you've already loosened off the open adapter. and then this one just slides right on. It's a little confusing as to how it fits, but I promise that it does just go right on there. Once you have it cinched down, my whole big lap applicator, you tighten these lure nuts, and I'm twisting to my right as I look at it, but then the back part is twisting to the left, which is why I never understood that. Just twist till it's tight, okay? Twist both of them, go back and forth, twist till it's tight, you're ready to go. The brilliant thing about this is that if you listen to the prior part where I said that you don't want to hook this up until the surgeon is ready to use, then what you can do is, with your open tip in your applicator, you can set this up so you have this component ready and separate to go, so that when you take your biologic out of the water bath, it's sitting on the table, you literally just, again, plug it in and you're ready to go. Now, if you need to convert back to open, save this, keep it on the sterile field, twist these off, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yep, got it. And then you put this back on. And then you just tighten those right back down again, back and forth until they tighten. Be aware that if this tip has sat for more than a second or two, you will need to change it. Refresher on how you change the tips. You take it off, grab something that's wet so you can wipe that dual lumen port right there. There will be a clot right at the top. Go ahead, wipe it, then you can reconnect whatever adapter you need. Contraindications to VistaSeal. So you do not want to administer this to a patient's circulatory system. If you do so, you will give them a massive clot. Please don't do that. You do not want to use on an arterial bleed, nor would it be effective if you did. You want to spray from the minimum recommended distance, otherwise you won't get a broad enough surface area. So if you're holding it 10 centimeters back, you'll get about half of that, 5 centimeters of width on the spray for where you are applying it. And then anyone who has had a history of anaphylaxis to human blood products is not a good candidate for any of these biologics. Miscellaneous questions. VistaSeal is the same price as Evicel for the open setup. The lap tip is slightly more expensive, but the open setup and the biologic itself is the exact same as Evicel. It comes in a reusable Pelican shipper, so we're trying to be a little bit green with our shipping initiative. We eliminated transporting on dry ice, so once tissue, i.e. blood bank, receives the product, they literally take these big ceramic discs, package it back up again, slap a shipping label on it, and send it right back to Ethicon to use. So we're not wasting anything as we were before when we were shipping Evicel. So very cool shipping green initiative there. One big thing to be aware of that we will also write out in bullet points so you guys know, this comes and it shows that it's a 10 ml. So what you're used to with your 5 ml Evicel now comes as a 10 ml VistaSeal. So where the heck is my Evicel? So this is what we called the 5, but really it's 5 and 5, so 10 mLs total of product. This is the exact same volume. We're just telling you total of what you're getting. So in OSIS, for example, they used to use the 1 ml Evicel for eyes. Now they're using the 2 ml VistaSeal for eyes. Again, same volumes, very important to be aware of. We will highlight the big watchouts for you guys in bullet points so that you can be aware of them. But just be careful when you're expressing air initially, as we already talked about. You don't want to press it on your gown or anything because you could shoot biologic into the air, so just very carefully express that air. Tighten these lure locks on the open applicator. And that is really it. Please reach out to myself or Gina if you have any questions whatsoever. We want to help, and thank you again so much for all of your time.